Yes. Waiting. You can sit, have a seat. I'm waiting for the children, the children, the children. I'm waiting for the children. Yes, I am. And we still have 2 more children. I don't want to start without them. Oh, okay. Then we're going to go ahead and start.
Look at this caterpillar.
The apple and the worm. I bit an apple that had a worm. I swallowed the apple, Andrew. I swallowed the worm. I felt it squiggle, squirm, and wiggle. I felt it turn. It felt so slippery, slimy, and scummy. I felt it plop in my tummy. Oh well, I guess the worm is there to stay. Unless I swallow a bird someday. So that's a little poem that I like. It's called The Apple and the Worm, Lilia. I did, I swallowed it, but I don't want you to miss anything. So, last week we were talking about trees. And remember when we went, do you remember when we went on our nature hunt, Roya, Misha? We went and we looked at nature. Oh, Amelia was absent. Well, we've been talking about trees. And so it got me to thinking about my favorite fruit. And my favorite fruit grows from a tree. Who thinks they know what my favorite fruit is?
Apple.
An apple. And I think it kind of gave it away, right? So when I went to the grocery store yesterday, I was going to bring an apple. And I saw so many apples, I couldn't pick just one. So I brought my 3 favorites. And do you remember last week, Miss Cruz was passing around pumpkins so that we could feel them and smell them? Well, I'm going to pass around some apples for us to look at. And the first apple is a Granny Smith.
I like those. They're my favorite.
Those are Noah's favorite apple. But there's
Those
also,
are my favorite too.
there's also
I love
the red delicious.
I like both
You
of
like both
them.
of them?
I like
Does anybody notice a difference?
Me too.
Oliver, do you see a difference?
They're the same.
You think they're the same? I think they're different colors, green and red, and they're kind of a different shape. So I'm going to pass this around. Jamira, if you could look at the apple, kind of smell it, and pass it around, see how it feels. See, it's a different shape.
It smells good.
And I also found this one. And this is called a Honeycrisp. And the reason I like this apple is because it's 2 colors. It's yellow and red. So if you could pass this around,
Can I eat it? Yes.
we might be able to eat it later. Not right now. It's just for touching right now. But maybe Miss Cruz will let us eat it later. We'll have to see.
Cut them and taste them later.
No, I already spilled it.
So go ahead and pass your apples back around.
Excuse me. No, it's black inside of it.
Black inside.
Yeah.
You think it's black inside? Maybe where the stem is?
I don't smell anything.
That holds them from the tree. That
And
holds them.
can you pass it around? Oh, did you miss it, Nathan? Did you weren't here?
It doesn't smell.
It doesn't smell. Okay, let's pass them back. I think we're going this way. Oliver? Oliver and Lilia, can you pass the apple this way when you're done?
Smell it.
So that everybody gets a turn.
I
And
really don't.
Misha, we're passing it this way to Angelina. Angelina, pass it to Mia.
I saw Papa
What is
and
it? A
all of
green
them were
apple.
screaming, and I was the only one waiting for the lion team, and my sister too.
So,
Me and my sister were waiting
Did
for
you
the
smell
lion
something?
team.
I
so
feel it.
these were the 3 apples that I brought. The Granny Smith, the Red Delicious, and the Honeycrisp. But Misha and Roya, I don't want you to miss anything because we're about to do something really excited. But before we do it, we all have to get into a little bit of practice because today we're going to be scientists. Who knows what a scientist is? Does anybody? Amelia? Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's a great example. Angelina? Did you know? Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Do you know what a scientist is?
Bill Nye the Science Guy is a really good example. And what a scientist does, Theron and Noah, I don't want you to miss it, is they experiment on things. They try new things. So before we start, I need to see everybody's fingers in front of them. As scientists, we need to keep our hands in our laps. But I know that you guys can do it because you are great scientists. And as scientists, we need to use our indoor voices when we're talking. Because sometimes it hurts my ears. That's not an indoor voice. When we talk indoor, Theron, it sounds kind of like this. So we're going to keep our hands in our lap. We're going to use our indoor voices. And we are going to listen with our ears and look with our eyes. So everybody, yes? When you're a scientist, you have to sing? Sometimes. But we're not going to sing today. We are going to put on our goggles. Put on your goggles. So the reason I talked about apples is because I found a really neat experiment. And it has to do with an apple. And with this apple, we're going to try something new. I have baking soda. I have vinegar with green food coloring. And I have a measuring spoons. Actually, I have several measuring spoons because I wasn't sure. But I think for this experiment, I am going to use the half tablespoon. And what we do is we pick up the top, and I already cut the top. We pick up the top of the apple. We take the baking soda, and we take a tablespoon of baking soda, and we put it right in the apple. And then we put the top right back on. Now I'm going to use the vinegar, but before I do, I want to make a prediction. And a prediction is something that you guess before it happens. Who has a prediction?
Me.
Oliver. We'll let Oliver first. Oliver, what's your prediction? What do you think's going to happen when I add vinegar? He's not sure yet. Angelina, what do you think?
Maybe it would turn into a volcano.
You think it's going to turn into a volcano? That's a really good guess.
Volcano?
Misha, what do you think?
Volcano.
You think Oliver thinks it's a volcano? What about you, Misha?
It's going to turn Elsa.
It's going to turn into Elsa? Well, that would be really fun, wouldn't it? Okay, everybody, make sure you have your goggles on tight. Hands in your lap. Looking. Here we
I
go.
can't see you.
Lilia, I don't want you to miss it.
It's like applesauce. That's rubbing.
It's erupting. And this is what we call the apple volcano.
That's what I told you at your house.
You were right.
No! That's erupting. That's
It is
erupting.
erupting.
And it's bubbling out.
It is bubbling. Why do you think it's bubbling? Why do you think it's bubbling?
Because it's erupting.
Because it's erupting. And you know what we call this? We call this a chemical reaction. When I took the baking soda and I added the vinegar, it had a chemical reaction. And the reaction was, it bubbles up. And so I can keep taking baking soda. This time I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to put some more baking soda here. And I'm going to put some on the tray too. And we're going to see.
It's gonna explode.
You think it's
It's
going to
gonna
explode? It bubbles over. When you put vinegar
Yeah, it's gonna.
and baking
It's
soda.
gonna pop and then it's gonna explode like this,
Oh.
like a volcano.
Well, then I'm glad we wear our goggles.
No, it's gonna add more water.
Listening here, scientists. Where's my scientists?
It's gonna
Where are my
add-
scientists?
It's gonna
Noah.
add- it's
Noah and
gonna
Baron
add-
with our indoor voices.
and
Oliver,
add,
Angelina, I know we're all excited.
I'm not
Shh,
sugar? Is that sugar?
So
What she
you
put in
are
there?
using an indoor voice. Thank you,
It's
Misha.
baking
So
soda.
this is baking
looks
soda
like
and
sugar.
vinegar. It makes a chemical reaction and it bubbles up. And when we put it inside an apple, it kind of looks like a volcano. But now I have a question. Who would still eat this apple?
Not me. Not me.
What's wrong with it? It's an apple.
volcano.
It's a volcano? How do you think it's gonna taste?
I would eat it.
You think you would eat it? You know what?
I think I would eat it too.
You think you would eat it?
Not me. Oliver too.
You
Not me.
could eat it, but it would taste really funky because it's baking soda and vinegar, so it's gonna be really sour. Oliver, Noah, I need you to put your bottoms on the floor. Remember, we're scientists here. We're conducting a real experiment. So we talked about predictions. And a prediction?
like bacon in here.
It tastes like bacon in here? Oh, I wish.
It tastes like
You mean
it's
baking
like-
soda. It's
it tastes
baking
like-
soda.
It tastes like.
So we talked
tastes
about
like bugs in here.
predictions, and a prediction is what might happen. And Misha and Angelina and Oliver and Noah, they were right with their prediction. They predicted a volcano, and that's exactly what happened. We talked about chemical reaction, and that's when you take an item with another item and it responds.
No, her said it's gonna be Elsa.
Oh, that's right. Somebody said it was going to be Elsa. And so when we put the baking soda and the vinegar together, it created a chemical reaction, and it bubbled over.
Just like a volcano.
So it's like a volcano.
And Elsa
So-
was gonna erupt.
What do you think about that experiment? Was that fun?
Some volcanoes erupt
it was fun?
sometimes.
Did you enjoy that experiment?
Yes.
We did.
I did too. And you know what? I think I'd like to try
Volcanoes
more experiments. Noah, do you remember what I said about keeping your hands in your lap? You forgot. It's okay. It happens. I know you're excited. So,
He's like.
anybody have a question?
I have a question.
Yes, Noah.
Me too.
Noah first. Yes, Noah?
Some volcanoes explode on people's head. Yeah, I need to have one big hole.
Okay, so that's not really a question, but yeah, volcanoes explode. And they erupt with lava. Oliver, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Hold on, Oliver's having a talking turn.
Every day comes in the holes and they're this chase you and they never.
What would chase you? The volcano?
Yeah,
It might.
You just get water and.
Amelia, who else asked? Was it you, Amelia? Yes, you have a question? Volcanoes always explode? Actually, Noah, not all volcanoes explode. Some volcanoes are called dormant. And those are just volcanoes that sit there.
Andrew
Yes,
has a
Angelina?
Volcanoes that you could get stuck in like
If a volcano, yeah, you could get stuck in the lava and it would be really hot.
Andrew has a question.
Yes, Andrew.
He wants
Andrew,
to
let's let
know
Andrew have a talking turn.
if
Yes?
the baking soda has the same reaction in the green apple.
That's a good question. You know, maybe sometime we could try
I know.
different apples. I wonder if it would have the same reaction.
Green.
This apple, I'm not sure what it's called. It came in a bag. It was just a bag of apples.
Miss Ass,
Yes?
and you can make a volcano just like
Oh, you could. You could do this after school. Angelina has a great idea. With your parents, you could talk about it with your parents. Maybe I could create a flyer and send something home. Because that's all you need is an apple, some baking soda, and vinegar. But there's something else you always need. Your parents to help you, right? Because you don't want to get hurt. You want your parents to help you.
Like your teachers too.
I thank you so much for listening and your predictions. Everybody here has been great scientists, and it was a lot of fun. So we're done. Let's pick up our goggles. Oh, it's a good experiment. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then we're going to transition to go outside. And Miss Cruz is already standing there, so listening ears. I still need listening ears. I'm still talking. Thank you.
The teacher's gonna have to talk to her first.
So, when I call you, yes, there. Okay, we'll tell you in a minute. So when I call you, you're gonna let me know which one of these apples do you think is your favorite, and then you're gonna go find a square and stand in line with Miss Myra or Miss Cruz. So, Mia. Will you come on up, Mia?